Welcome to another video. This one's also about the Alpha, because you see, there were a lot of important things to do, mainly replacing the timing belt, but of course I decided to start with something even more important, which is making the car look better. Apart from being flat in general, there are unacceptable defects from when it was painted, a filler that is cracked, there are stone chips in the bonnet, a lot of swirls, and have I said it looks very flat? We'll start with decontaminating the paint, because if you put your hand here, I've seen worse, but you can feel all of the irregularities and it's not particularly smooth. This is an area that is susceptible to having bits of tarmac stuck, all of that, and you can feel it, but it's not terrible either. Let's start. It's not perfect. But I've seen much worse, and this is the worst part, the one that gets the most dirt. I've already contaminated everything, and now that it's clean, really clean, you can notice that, yeah, there are some dings in there. And there are some places where, maybe because of bird poo, the clear coat is gone, like there and there. So yeah, and here, for example, that's a big one. That's a stone chip, I guess. Yeah, I won't be able, of course, to do anything regarding that. We're just gonna make it shinier, but those defects are still there and we'll have to repaint that panel in the future. Here, a different issue. It's difficult to show, but yeah, here, it's all cracked and it will end up opening. I've also noticed that there are a lot of, it seems like dust under the paint. Let me see if I can find a suitable spot. Well, here the orange peel is terrible. Don't know if it comes across in the video, but it's not good at all. And for example, this one, it's difficult, but yeah, there are a couple spots there that are dust, I think. If it was me painting the car, it was great, but if it was a professional, yeah, don't know about that. Something went very wrong around here. And then of course you have this area which cracked. That's the worst bit. Oh, and here. Yeah, it was a disaster, and if it was me, I wouldn't be accepting the car like that from the paint job, because that's bad. I think I'm going to polish the headlights at the same time I do the rest, so maybe I'll start by sanding them. We're now moving to a 2000 grit sandpaper, and we're trying to make the finish smoother before polishing. Already coming clear. In the meantime, let's mask everything that's not going to be polished. There's less masking to do than in the Rover, which is a good thing. I promise you'll never see a setup like this. This was for the curtains in this house, which we are sort of renovating. And yeah, I just found a way of plugging it here. and since I don't have projectors, this will have to do. And as you can see, it's actually pretty good. You can see exactly what's there. Of course, there's a bit more wire and devices than you would need if this was made in Europe, because this is actually a Porter cable and it works with 110 volts. That's why you need that big thing. But anyway, most of the car has been already masked up. I think I'm going to start with this panel and I'm going to experiment with sanding with 3000 sandpaper. And I'm gonna do it here because, you know, this panel is absolutely hopeless. So if we end up making things worse, yeah, I won't feel as bad. After the sandpaper, which is somewhere here. Actually, I don't know if I have 3000. I think I only have 2000, but never mind. After that, we have two different polishes here. They are a couple years old now because I don't polish that much. This one is an intermediate one from Enzerna, and we have the ultra finishing one that, if the finish is already sort of good, I'm not using because that's another pass. So this is our starting point. As you can see, it's pretty swirled up. You probably can't see it, but underneath the swirl marks you have a bit of orange peel. That's a bit excessive to me. And if you look at areas like, for example, this one, it's even worse. So that's what I'm trying to achieve with the sanding, but at the same time I don't want to go all in. That's why I'm starting with a 2000, because I'm a bit scared that I might not be able to recover from deeper scratches that come from sanding. Alright, this is gonna be scary. It's obviously a bit hazy now, but I suppose we can get it back to what we need. The backing of my yellow pad, which is a bit more aggressive, just dropped from the pad itself. So I'm using this one. Don't worry about that mark, this is actually clean. And we're gonna see if this is aggressive enough for what we want. And the giant blob just dropped in here, which is not what I wanted. We're gonna need to do better than that, but it's getting better. Right, let's go again. Yeah, still some marks there, although better than before. This is very, very clear. I mean, we still have scratches. You can see them there, more or less. But this is much, much clearer than here. I'm happier with having a little bit of orange peel and avoiding the work needed to fix this, because this now needs fixing. I'm gonna do the rest of the car. We've already established that, yeah, that's not worth it. I'll do the rest of the car and fix that later. Oh, my arms. That's immediately much nicer in terms of shine. That looks pretty good for just one passage, if you ask me. So this is what we haven't polished, and this is what we have polished. I've just done another passage, and I think the results speak for themselves, because here you really can't see me that well, but here you can. Now, let's do this one. Well, it's shinier, but still pretty tragic. Here's okay, but once you get here, yeah, it's not very good. No point really. Yeah. I'm having issues with the polish not wanting to come off the paint, but apart from that, you can see that this is still pretty flat and swirly. And this is, you know, much better. Not perfect, of course, but much better. I'm already happy with the fact that we had a big scratch over here. And I mean, I can see it, but I guess we still have some of it. But yeah, it's much better. Let me try from this side. Oh, okay. It's over there. That's horrible. And of course, there's still a lot of scratches underneath, but yeah. Next, this door, which is still looking much worse than the panels that we've done. The difference is very clear here. Hello, this is another day. Basically, the entire side of this car has been polished, except for that bit. And for this area here, which I still need to recover from. Oh yeah, and I also have to do this at the same time maybe as the roof. It's looking much shinier. A lot of scratches have been removed, but not all of them. You can see we still, let me check if that's not actually hazing. Yeah, we still have some deeper ones. For this job, really, I would need to go to a compound, not this polish, a more aggressive one. I will start to tackle the roof now. As you can see, this will never go away. I'll just be happy to restore some, you know, brightness to this and some clarity. I'll do another pass. This is where we haven't polished yet. And you can see there are also watermarks, but that's a different story. And this is the panel that we have done now. This was already done. We still need to do the rest of the bonnet. And here it's already shiny. And here it's scratched. Good morning. This is another day because I'm not dedicating entire days to polishing this car. And I've already started, continuing on the bonnet. And I've already done these sections over here. But I haven't done this. That's a deep scratch. More or less deep, not that deep. That's looking ugly too. This is a deeper one. We've already made it look much better in there. So, yeah, let's see what we can do here. Mixed feelings. While the black in this car is looking much darker now, and we've removed a lot of finer scratches, well, these cracks in the clear coat are more visible now, and this is still here. It's looking better, but of course, I knew that that would happen. I wanted to give you an idea of how things are going in here. This light is getting weaker by the day. It's already been polished, and over here, it hasn't. I was up here doing this part, and my god, I mean, this has to have been painted on the outside. That's all dirt spots. That's absolutely terrible. Thankfully it's the area of the car that I'm going to see less. That's a good thing. Apart from that, it's shiny. We haven't done this off yet, and you can tell because it looks really not very good compared to that one. Paint is entirely missing from there. I'm getting old for this. 30s and 50s, I suppose. Most of the deeper scratches are gone. Yeah, that bit hasn't been done yet. We have more light here, so this is one of the best panels to actually show you the difference between what we have already polished here and the areas we didn't. And the difference is massive. That's very pleasing, if you ask me. I'm finishing the first pass, the first two passes on the entire car. We're only missing this panel here, this bottom of the bumper, and then the lower bit of the rear wing, where I need to fix that, and then the headlights and the rear units, of course. No surprise regarding the paint. It's still pretty much what we've seen so far, a bit of orange peel, but most scratches are actually coming off, although not all of them, because I don't want to get rid of all of the clear coat. I can say the same regarding surprises for missing parts, because as you can see, there should be, a lens there, and we need to clean that too. Otherwise, yeah, I didn't need to do this because the plate goes in here. I could just polish around, but that didn't sit well with me. I'd like to know what sort of tragedy happened here, and the thought that it was okay to deliver a car like that. Hello. And goodbye. Safe to say that there is a small difference between what I've polished and what is still to be polished. It's also funny how this cracked filler acts as a great divide between the two surfaces. Polishing pigs, my specialty since 2014. They are slowly recovering from that. Okay, with this yellow pad and the same polish because I don't have anything stronger. So we're just gonna insist on those areas and then give it a final pass with the orange pad. And that should be us done, apart from the front bumper and the headlights. Now, this is what we would have achieved if I had wet sanded the entire car. For me, there's still a little bit of sanding damage over there, but honestly, given the rest of the panel, I'm not gonna insist much further. I'm okay with that. But look at this. This is how the clear coat looks where I wet sanded it. It's completely clear. It's incredible. And if you move here, you can start seeing distortion. Yeah, it would look incredible if the entire car was like that. In the future, when this car goes to the garage to paint a couple of panels, probably around 5, I'll definitely do that because yeah, there's potential in there. And I'm a bit upset now that I haven't done that to the entire car, but of course that would take time and it's risky for a newbie, as I am, of course. We're gonna have to be happy with this, which is a bit different from this. Let's finally do the lights. It shouldn't take much to bring them to life. I'm not particularly happy with the way this turned out, but I don't think I can do much more. I've set it with 1000, 2000, and 5000, sure, it should have been something in the middle, but... And then I've polished 2 times with this yellow pad. I've redone it again. I've gone back to 1000 and 2000 of that. I've done one part of the sun in one direction, the other part on the other direction, with plenty of water. So I don't think this is actually my fault. These plastic lenses have probably had it. I think this is ingrained in the plastic itself. They will obviously sail through an MOT, but they don't look great. They think I'm going to have to buy some new ones. This area of the bumper looks absolutely terrible. Normal thing in a hatchback, I guess. It's not perfect, but it's better. We're going to consider this done. So I'm just going to remove all the tape and clean it with a 50/50 IPA solution. And let's see how it looks. Now that the car is more or less clean, I'm going to use this liquid wax and then let it rest set for about 2 hours. Now we just let it set, but yeah, doesn't look bad. Now removing the last traces of wax. I don't really trust the remaining cloths that I have. I don't think they are smooth enough, and I'm putting some scratches in the paint. Or maybe it's just because we removed the polish residue. It also helps fill some of the scratches, so now I'm seeing them again. Time for the last details. Thankfully this car doesn't have a lot of bits that haven't been color coded. Even then, the bits that are plastic are looking really grey, really old, so let's also take care of that. This works, as you can see. I don't think I've closed the bonnet. Yes. As you can see, it's still pretty bad. But now it has shine. So yeah, we would always have to repaint this, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. The doors are okay, they are still a bit scratched and they still have a bit of orange peel, but I can say that they have potential once I decide to wet sand these in a couple of months, maybe when other panels are painted. And this is also okay, it's probably been painted at the same time. If you look closely, it's actually fine. There's still a little bit of dust in there. We'll need to repaint the bumper. So yeah, it's a good start, but by no means perfect. The plastics have turned out nicely. Maybe I could have put a bit more of the product in here. This is now the sort of car that if you look on 2 meters, it looks pretty good, I would say. I wouldn't even change the wheels. I think it just looks perfect the way it is. These are good, and the car looks really balanced. That's still dirty over there. Great job that I've done. So, to sum things up, if you don't really know about detail, this looks great. If you do, this looks a bit shit. But yeah, we're gonna take care of that in the future. For now, the car is looking presentable, which was the main goal. We also have to take care of the wheels in the future, because this is not the worst, but yeah, a bit of bubbling there. I'll stop complaining and just be happy with the result, I guess. So, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.